Hello, everyone. It's Reese from the Nightmare Fuel podcast. And, there's something that is lacking from my YouTube experience, and that is drama. I have never once been entangled in drama. I'm usually on the sidelines. I sit it out. I'm mature about it. I'm like, this is a little petty, guys. It's not that fun. I'm just fucking with you. Of course. Of course I'm going to get involved in drama. That's all I've been doing. That's all I do. And I don't want to. I don't want to talk about this. I really don't. But you know what? Fuck it. I already told people I was going to. I'm going to be a man of my word. Let's talk about Naked Ape's video to The Amazing Atheist regarding atheism is unstoppable. Brace yourselves. There are going to be so many people mentioned and connections made. If you are not within this community, you're fucked. You are going to be beyond lost. I will explain as best I can. But basically, here's the premise. Here's the series of events. Try to follow me here. Atheism is Unstoppable makes a video calling out Bernie supporters who will not support Hillary Clinton. His account is then hacked by a Trump supporter for a few days. He has since gotten his Twitter account back, and everything's fine there. But when that happened, his parents' address was doxxed and swatted. Okay? That's what we're dealing with. So, the larger anti-SJW community decided to take it upon themselves at this time, of all times, to bring up, hey, Devin, AIU, didn't you dox a 14-year-old? Didn't you dox people who slandered you publicly and called you a racist? Didn't you dox them? And it's like, no, I didn't dox them. Especially not in the way, it's not even comparable to what happened to him just now. It's not him sending addresses to people so that they can be swatted. No, revealing names that were publicly linked to that person. That's what's going on. By the way, this is not something that's happening currently. This is something that happened 6 months ago or some crazy shit like that. This is another example of our community absolutely failing. They don't talk about any real issues. They've instead decided to make this the primary subject. Drama, petty drama, from fucking January. But anyway, let's get into Naked Ape's video. I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
Intimidation and bullying? You're the one doing hate videos on me. You're the one calling me names. And me no likey. Me no likey those names. And me gonna react to those names. Me said Jar Jar Binks. Okay, I will react. And you know what my reaction is? Is fuck you, you snot-nosed little bitch. Fuck you, fuck your mother, and fuck your father. Your name is Hey, 14-year-old. Your name is
Okay, well, here's an interesting story because I actually remember the first time I heard that. Vernaculus posted it, and the Flying Monkeys were reacting negatively. I was actually cool with quite a few of the Flying Monkeys because of Hagbard, but at that time, I was still not very, fond of Devin. I was still kind of on the fence, like, I don't know if I really agree with this guy. He says a lot of things I'm not so sure about, and this was like nail in the coffin, like, oh my god, he's doxing teenagers. But that has a lot to do with the misrepresentation of this case and all the misinformation out there. Once you realize the effects that this slander could have on Devin, especially, and a point that I like that people were bringing up was him being in Germany. I was like, oh, holy shit, now I get it. I get the concern. I get the concern of, oh, people are calling me racist. Well, they should be accountable to that. There should be a level of integrity to that. And also, I am tired of us babying people based on their age. Okay, like, no, it doesn't matter your age. Slander is slander. I'm pretty sure you just have to be 13 to upload videos to YouTube anyway. Sorry, welcome to the real world. You will be treated as an adult like everyone else. That's how it goes. That's just how it goes. But anyway, that's a little bit of my background on this incident. It's funny to revisit because this was the case that brought me over to being on AIU's side. After so much drama, this is what it took. Once I realized, oh my god, I am so in the wrong. I have fallen into line with this almost hive mind mentality of fuck AIU, he's the worst, he's the villain of this community. And it's so easy to fall into, and we're just seeing a replay of that now.
Now, isn't that just a great question to ask TJ fucking Kirk? Why is it that when SJWs engage in unethical actions, they get condemned? But when Devin Tracy, Atheism is Unstoppable, does the exact same fucking thing, you give him a fucking platform and pretend that nothing happened.
Yeesh. Okay. Okay, Ape, let's go over these one at a time. Okay, so doxing. You're coming at this, you don't even really understand the doxing that's being talked about. And you would have to assume that the doxing that is actually taking place is unethical. Flagging. No flagging occurred except for flagging people who flagged him, which I really don't see a problem with. There's actually been a big debate about that in the anti-SJW community, that at some point you do have to fight fire with fire. You can't just play nice the whole time. Silencing criticism. Name me one time Devin Tracy has done this. They try to cite the doxing as an example of him silencing criticism. That didn't silence criticism from anyone. If anything, it just kicked the hornet's nest more. The people who've had their names revealed by AIU are more vocal than ever. Okay, so that's retarded. And banned people? I've blocked people on Twitter. I have banned people from this channel. You know why? Because they were annoying. Because they were like Black Pigeon Speaks fans who I didn't want to deal with. Or they were just some anonymous cunt who was harassing me day in and day out. And it's like, you know what? No, I'm done with you. I don't need to hear from you. You are not owed my time. I'm not obligated to hear your arguments out either. Especially if it's just going to be pestering and trolling. Who would possibly waste their time with that?
Well, do you want to hold him accountable for his perceived transgressions until the end of time? TJ, you fucking liar! You are lying. These are not perceived transgressions. He is a doc-dropping piece of shit, and you know it.
I think what's being said there is he thinks that you're all blowing this out of proportion. Of course TJ knows that AIU reveals names. This is something that he's known since it started happening. The rest of us, where are these people getting their information? Do you understand that this happened a long-ass time ago? The rest of us knew about this the whole time. This isn't news. You're not blowing anyone's mind. We knew that he revealed names. And you know what the best part is, the most triggering part? We were okay with it because we're not pussies.
That's not me silencing you. That's me teaching you how to be a man. Force-feeding it down your fucking neck. Your name is...
Can you understand how wrong this is? Can you understand the layers? And like, it's a compound fracture of falsehood that's going on here. Okay, so they say that Devin revealing people's names is doxing. That is exactly the same as all other forms of doxing. And then they pinpoint this example of him doxing the 14-year-old, which is a complete emotional appeal. I always wanted to come up with a new fallacy like, oh, think of the children or something like that. Feel bad for the fucking children. He did not actually reveal the kid's real name. So not only is this not the doxing you were talking about, this is a non-case. This is actually literally nothing happening 6 months ago, and they're still bitching about it. Can you believe what's going on in this community? Can you believe the mock outrage? The lack of coverage of anything of actual importance. This is still being discussed, and it is still just as lame as it was in January.
But according to TJ fucking Kirk, Devin Tracy has an interesting perspective. And yes, with that interesting perspective comes someone who sometimes behaves in controversial ways. That's a really interesting way to spell I'm a fucking hypocrite. If this was anyone else, you insufferable jackass, you wouldn't go near him with a 10-foot pole. If this was Jenny McFuckface or anyone, you wouldn't touch him. but because Devin Tracy has a political perspective that you agree with, that you like, you're willing to not condemn his fucking actions.
It's so interesting to me that TJ has actually been the primary target of this. I saw his reaction to this video on Twitter too, which was just so priceless. Basically like, oh my god, I really triggered that kid. Because yeah, it's so odd. They're coming to him for this kind of validation. Like, oh my god, how could you do this, TJ? How could you feature someone on your channel who happened to reveal names on the internet? He hasn't done that recently. He did that months ago. You already knew about this. You already talked about this at length. We should have all known about this, but yet we're going to bring it up now. We're not going to go to Devin and approach him about it. Yeah, TJ is probably going to be more more interested in working with Devin as opposed to Jenny McDermott because he actually agrees with Devin. I don't see how that is a negated point. Of course he's going to work with him. And the other thing is, he doesn't think what AIU did is wrong because what AI did was not wrong. What he did was perfectly fine in the eyes of the law, in the eyes of the fucking Twitter TOS, in the eyes of everyone. Why is this being brought up? Why? Like, really, I need to know. Why is this being brought up after his account was hacked and his parents were doxxed? That's what they're trying to do. They are trying to conflate his revealing names by saying, there's people even saying that he's revealed addresses. Ask Devin yourself. He has not revealed anyone's address. But they have to do that. They have to lie about that because if they can get that conflation, then they can say, well, if you're whining about your parents being doxxed and swatted, then you are a hypocrite. And also, TJ, you are a hypocrite. Because, why is TJ a hypocrite? Let's go over this. Because, one, he has supported Devin Tracy. He has featured him on his channel. And two, he's been against people like Jenny McDermott who took extra unethical measures against him, who has tried to DMCA his channel. Okay? These things are not remotely related. This is fucking ridiculous. You do have to presuppose that what Devin did was wrong. This video gives no context for this. In fact, this whole lynch mob has started from that base assumption. They have not given Devin a chance to explain himself in the slightest. Let me remind you, this is a fucking community that seriously just entertained a debate about child pornography. Many of the people who are calling Devin out now for this non-issue partook and lended credibility to that event, to that shitstorm, to that unneeded fucking joke of a debate. That's this community. Oh, that's fine. Let's have a civil debate about whether child porn is okay. Oh, but you revealed somebody's name that was already out there. You just happened to tell more people about it on the internet, and suddenly you're the fucking Antichrist in these people's eyes. No. This community has lost its integrity. You have lost the right to call people out on that. Do you see what you were just doing? Do you see the conversations you have been engaging in? Fucking despicable.